All right, let's dive in. Today we're taking a deep dive into online business books.
Ooh, sounds exciting. I love a good business book.
Yeah, and we've got a fantastic source to guide us.
Let's hear it.
It's a recent blog post from blogwidow.com, and they recommend 8 books, all geared towards online entrepreneurs.
8 books, wow. That's a lot to unpack.
It is, but that's what we're here for, right?
Absolutely. I'm ready to break it all down.
Our mission today is to help you figure out which of these books might be most helpful for you, even if you're not sure where to start.
Love that. Everyone's got to start somewhere.
Exactly. And I have a feeling some of these recommendations might surprise you.
Ooh, even better. I love a good surprise.
Okay, let's jump right in. The first book on our list is a classic, The Lean Startup by Eric Ries.
Ah, classic for a reason. This one's been making waves for years.
Yeah, and it's all about this concept of a minimum viable product, or MVP.
Right. The MVP.
I'll be honest, I've always been a bit hesitant about this whole MVP thing.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, it always sounded a bit rushed to me, like you're sacrificing quality for speed.
I understand that hesitation, but the beauty of the MVP is that it's not about rushing a subpar product to market at all.
Okay, so it's not about cutting corners.
No, not at all. It's about embracing failure as a learning opportunity and pivoting quickly based on real customer feedback.
So instead of spending months perfecting a product in isolation, you're getting a basic version out there fast.
Exactly. Gather data, see what your customers actually want, and then iterate based on that feedback.
It's like letting your product evolve based on survival of the fittest.
I like that analogy. It's a data-driven approach that minimizes risk and waste.
And it's not just for tech startups anymore, right?
Right. You can apply this concept to any online business, whether you're selling physical products, digital services, online courses, you name it.
Okay, that's definitely making me rethink my product development process.
It's a game changer for sure.
Now let's move on to a book that's, shall we say, a bit more high energy, Crushing It, by Gary Vaynerchuk.
Oh yeah, Gary V. He's definitely a force of nature.
That's one way to put it. I've always been intrigued by his work, but I've also heard it's heavily tied to that hustle culture, which can be a bit overwhelming.
I hear you. Hustle culture can definitely be a double-edged sword.
So what's your take on Crushing It? Is it all about working 24/7 and building a massive following?
Well, Gary is a big proponent of putting in the work, that's for sure.
No doubt about that.
But crushing it is really about personal branding,
Yeah.
especially in the world of social media.
Okay, so it's more nuanced than just hustle till you drop.
Much more. Gary himself is a social media pioneer.
Right, he built his family's wine business into a huge success through his online presence.
Exactly. He knows what he's talking about.
So what's the key takeaway here?
I think it's about finding your unique voice, building authentic relationships online, and leveraging the power of social media to grow your business.
So it's not just about the hustle, it's about using social media strategically.
Exactly. It's about connecting with the right people and building genuine relationships.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
It's not about being everywhere. It's about being where your audience is.
Now, our next book is all about finding your why. Start with Why by Simon Sinek.
Ah, Simon Sinek. He's brilliant. Love his work on the Golden Circle.
Me too. But how does that concept translate to the world of online business?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
It is. Because in a crowded online marketplace, standing out is key.
And that's where your why comes in. Sinek's argument is that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it.
Okay, so it's about connecting with customers on a deeper level.
Exactly. It's about tapping into that emotional side of things, building a brand that resonates with their values.
Like think about brands like Tauames Shoes or Patagonia.
Perfect examples. They've built incredibly successful businesses by connecting their products to a larger social mission.
And that resonates with customers who share those values, right?
Absolutely. It builds loyalty and turns customers into advocates.
It makes you think about your own why, doesn't it?
It really does. Why did you start your business? What impact do you want to make in the world?
Those are powerful questions. Every online entrepreneur should be asking themselves those questions.
Couldn't agree more. Your why is the foundation of your brand.
And in a world where anyone can set up an online shop, that why is what sets you apart.
It's what attracts customers who believe in what you believe in.
Okay, that's really resonating with me. Now, our next book is for those who might be starting their entrepreneurial journey with limited funds, The $100 Startup by Chris Guillebeau.
Ooh, this one is a classic for a reason. It's so inspiring.
I love the premise. But can you really launch a successful online business with just $100?
It might sound impossible, but Guillebeau proves it's not only possible, It can be incredibly rewarding.
I'm already hooked. Tell me more.
It's about being resourceful, finding creative solutions, and focusing on value creation.
Not about cutting corners.
No, not at all. It's about using your ingenuity and making the most of what you have.
The blog post mentioned examples of entrepreneurs launching with limited capital. Did any of them stand out to you?
You know, the post doesn't go into specific examples from the book,
Got it.
but it does highlight how Guillebeau shares tons of inspiring stories.
So it's packed with real-world examples.
Absolutely. That's a treasure trove of practical advice
Yeah.
for those hesitant about the financial commitment.
I'm starting to feel less intimidated about starting already.
That's the spirit.
All right, what's next on our list?
Okay, next we've got .com Secrets by Russell Brunson.
Ooh, I've heard about this one. It's all about sales funnels, right?
You got it. It's a deep dive into the world of sales funnels.
Honestly, I've always been a bit intimidated by sales funnels.
I get it. They can seem complex.
Where do you even begin?
That's where Brunson comes in. He does a fantastic job of demystifying the whole process.
Okay, so he breaks it down into manageable steps.
Exactly. He explains how sales funnels work, why they're so effective.
So how does he explain a sales funnel?
Think of it like a system that guides your website visitors through a series of steps, ultimately leading them to become paying customers.
Okay, that makes it sound less scary.
Right. It's all about understanding the customer journey.
Creating a smooth online experience that encourages them to make a purchase.
Exactly. Brunson emphasizes the importance of building relationships with your audience, providing value every step of the way.
So it's not just about driving people to a sales page?
Nope. It's about building trust, nurturing those relationships.
Creating a win-win situation for both you and your customers.
Exactly. It's a more strategic approach to online marketing.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal of sales funnels.
They're powerful tools when used effectively.
Now, for a book that challenges traditional business advice, we have Rework by Jason Fried and David Heinemeier Hansson.
Oh, Rework is fantastic. It's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I'm always up for a fresh perspective, especially if it comes from successful entrepreneurs.
And these guys definitely fit the bill.
They're the co-founders of Basecamp, right?
That's right. They know a thing or two about building a thriving business.
So what kind of unconventional advice do they offer?
Well, Rework encourages entrepreneurs to question everything, embrace simplicity, and focus on getting things done.
I like that, cutting through the noise and focusing on what matters.
Exactly. One of the most interesting ideas is their stance on meetings.
Oh, tell me more. I've sat through my fair share of pointless meetings.
They argue that most meetings are a colossal waste of time,
I wholeheartedly agree.
and instead they advocate for asynchronous communication and deep, focused work.
That makes a lot of sense. What else do they challenge?
They also have a very interesting take on planning.
Oh, I thought planning was essential for any business.
Well, they believe that over-planning can lead to analysis paralysis and stifle creativity.
Interesting. So they're more about action than endless strategizing.
Exactly. They encourage entrepreneurs to build less, but build right, focusing on creating that minimum viable product and iterating based on feedback.
I'm sensing a theme here. Both the Lean Startup and Rework seem to be advocating for similar approaches.
You're right. They both emphasize adaptability, experimentation, and customer feedback.
It's about being willing to pivot, to course correct along the way.
Exactly. And embracing those failures as valuable learning experiences.
Okay, let's move on to a book that's sure to spark some debate. The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss.
Ah, the infamous 4-Hour Workweek. It's a classic, even if it is a bit provocative.
I know the title is a bit of a hook, but is it really possible to build a successful business while only working 4 hours a week?
That's the question, isn't it?
What's your take?
Well, while the 4-Hour Workweek might not be realistic for everyone, Ferriss does offer valuable strategies for designing a business that allows for more freedom and flexibility.
The blog post mentioned automation, outsourcing, and productivity optimization. Are those some of the key things Ferriss advocates for?
Absolutely. He's all about identifying and eliminating time-wasting tasks.
Streamlining processes, making the most of your time.
Exactly. He also provides tips for maximizing productivity during those focused work hours.
So you can achieve more in less time.
That's the idea. He wants you to work smarter, not harder.
That sounds appealing, especially for entrepreneurs who are feeling burned out.
It's definitely a philosophy that resonates with a lot of people.
But is it really sustainable?
I think it depends on your goals and your business model.
And your willingness to embrace unconventional approaches.
That's a big part of it. It's about designing your business to work for you.
Not the other way around.
Exactly. It might not be a quick fix, but it's a roadmap to a more autonomous lifestyle,
Okay, I can see how this would appeal to a lot of online entrepreneurs.
especially those who value freedom and flexibility.
Now, our final book is Blue Ocean Strategy by W. Chan Kim and Renee Malborn.
Blue ocean strategy.
Yeah.
This one's all about finding uncontested market space.
Blue Ocean, huh? That sounds intriguing. But what does it mean in the context of online business?
Think of a red ocean as a crowded market where businesses are fighting for the same customers. It's cutthroat competition, driving prices down, making it hard to stand out.
Okay, so a red ocean is a tough place to be.
It can be, but a blue ocean is the opposite. It's an uncontested market space where you can create new demand.
So it's about finding a niche where you have no competition.
It's not necessarily about finding a niche, it's more about creating a new market space.
Offering something so unique and compelling that it transcends traditional boundaries.
Exactly, it's about making the competition irrelevant.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. Can you give me an example of a company that's done this successfully?
Absolutely. Cirque du Soleil is a perfect example.
Cirque du Soleil, the circus.
Yes, they completely reinvented the circus experience.
How so?
They blended elements of theater, acrobatics, artistic performance, creating something totally new.
So they didn't compete with traditional circuses, they created their own category.
Exactly, they found their blue ocean.
Wow, that's a great example of thinking outside the box.
It's about challenging assumptions, finding new ways to create value.
Okay, so Blue Ocean Strategy is about identifying those uncontested markets.
And creating innovative offerings that stand out from the crowd.
I'm loving these insights. We've covered so much ground already.
We have, from the lean startup to Blue Ocean Strategy.
I'm already feeling inspired to rethink some of my own approaches to online business.
That's fantastic. And that's just the beginning.
Before we move on to part 2, I want to encourage you to check out the full blog post on blogwidow.com.
We'll be sure to include the link in the show notes.
Stay tuned because in the next part, we'll be diving deeper into these books.
We'll discuss how you can apply these insights to your own online business.
No matter what stage you're at.
And we'll also be talking about potential downsides and criticisms of these approaches.
So you can get a well-rounded perspective.
Before you dive into any of these books.
Welcome back to our deep dive. I'm ready to sift through those insights and see what really stands out for our listener.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground in part 1, from lean startups to blue oceans.
It's time to extract those golden nuggets of wisdom.
Absolutely. The stuff that can really make a difference.
What are the big aha moments that our listeners should be paying attention to?
Well, one of the most striking takeaways, and this echoes through almost every book on this list,
Okay, I'm intrigued.
is the unwavering emphasis on customer centricity.
Customer centricity. Okay, makes sense.
But what does that actually look like in practice, especially in the online world?
Yeah, it's more than just saying the customer is always right.
Right. It's about deeply understanding your target audience.
Their needs, their pain points.
Exactly. Even their aspirations.
So it's about going beyond just having a great product or service.
It is. Think back to the lean startup.
Okay, the MVP.
Building an MVP isn't about throwing something together haphazardly.
Right, it's not about cutting corners.
It's about gathering that crucial customer feedback early on.
And using it to shape your product into something they truly want.
Something that truly solves a problem for them.
And aligns with their values.
Exactly. It's like letting the customer be your co-pilot.
I like that analogy.
And this focus on the customer, it extends to every aspect of your online business.
Okay, so it's not just about product development.
Nope. From crafting your brand's why, like we talked about with Start With Why,
Right, connecting with customers on an emotional level.
to designing a sales funnel that guides them seamlessly towards a purchase, like in .com Secrets.
It's all about putting the customer at the heart of everything you do.
That's the key.
You know, it makes sense. That customer-centric approach is probably even more important online.
Oh, absolutely.
Competition is fierce. Building trust is paramount.
It's what helps you stand out in a sea of online businesses.
Okay, customer centricity is a big one. What else resonated with you from these books?
Another key takeaway, and this is especially relevant today.
With the digital landscape changing so rapidly.
Exactly. Is the importance of adaptability and agility.
Okay, adaptability. I can see how that's crucial in the online world.
Things are constantly evolving, needed to be able to keep up.
So what does adaptability look like for an online entrepreneur?
It's about letting go of the idea of a rigid business plan,
Okay, so not being afraid to deviate from the plan.
right? Embracing the unexpected twists and turns that inevitably come up.
Being willing to pivot, to experiment, to course correct along the way.
Exactly. And rework, and the lean startup really emphasize this.
They both talk about the dangers of clinging to outdated strategies.
Or being resistant to change, especially in the fast-paced online world.
So it's about adopting a growth mindset,
Absolutely. Not just for yourself as an entrepreneur.
but for your business as a whole,
Exactly. The online landscape is dynamic. You need to be able to adapt.
to respond to those changes, to evolve.
It's essential for survival, let alone success.
It's interesting, both the lean startup and rework seem to advocate for a similar approach.
You're right, even though they come from different angles.
They're both saying, don't be afraid to fail fast, learn from it, and iterate quickly.
Exactly. And that ties into another important insight,
Okay, what's that?
the power of experimentation.
Experimentation. I like the sound of that.
It's a lot less intimidating than trying to get everything perfect right away.
Agreed.
And in the online world, you have this unique opportunity to test different approaches
To gather data and refine your strategies.
based on real-world results, not just theory.
Whether it's A/B testing headlines on your website,
Trying out new social media platforms, experimenting with pricing models.
it's like having a laboratory for your business.
I love that analogy. You can see what works, what doesn't, and adjust accordingly.
And embrace those failures as valuable learning experiences.
Exactly. And that willingness to experiment, to step outside your comfort zone.
That's often what separates those who thrive online from those who struggle.
Couldn't agree more. It's a key ingredient for success.
Okay, so we've got customer centricity, adaptability, experimentation.
Those are big ones.
Any other aha moments that stood out to you?
You know, this one might seem obvious, but it's worth emphasizing.
Okay, let's hear it.
Building a strong online presence is non-negotiable.
Of course. But it's more than just having a website, right?
Right. Everyone has a website these days.
It's about understanding digital marketing.
Crafting a compelling brand, creating a seamless online experience.
So where do these books fit into that?
Books like Crushing It and .com Secrets really delve into the nitty-gritty of building that online presence.
From mastering social media to optimizing your website for conversions,
They offer practical advice, actionable strategies.
that can help you attract customers, build trust, and drive sales.
It's about being strategic and intentional with your online presence.
Not just hoping people will stumble upon your business.
Exactly. It's about leveraging the power of the internet.
To connect with your audience, build relationships, showcase your value.
That's what it's all about.
Okay, so we've covered some key takeaways from these books.
Lots of great insights.
But it's important to remember that these books are just tools.
Tools in the entrepreneurial toolkit.
The real magic happens when you apply these concepts to your own business.
And adapt them to your specific goals and circumstances.
It's not about blindly following someone else's blueprint.
Right. It's about extracting the principles and making them your own.
Taking what resonates, experimenting, finding what works best for you.
That's where the real learning and growth happen.
Now, let's be real for a minute.
Okay, getting real.
Not everything in these books is pure gold, right?
You're right. There are bound to be some criticisms or potential downsides.
To some of these entrepreneurial approaches.
It's important to approach these books with a critical eye.
To recognize that not every strategy will be a perfect fit for everyone.
Exactly. For instance, that hustle culture we talked about.
The one often associated with Gary Vaynerchuk.
It might not resonate with everyone.
It can be overwhelming, lead to burnout.
It's important to find a pace and work style that's sustainable for you.
And even those seemingly flawless concepts like the MVP
The MVP? Yeah,
can have their pitfalls if not executed properly.
absolutely. If you rush a product to market before it's ready,
You risk damaging your brand's reputation.
the key is to find that balance between speed and quality.
And what about the 4-hour work week?
Ah, yes. While that ideal is incredibly appealing,
It can be misleading or even unattainable for some entrepreneurs.
especially those just starting out.
Yeah, building a successful business takes time and effort.
It's not an overnight transformation.
It's important to be realistic about the challenges involved,
And to focus on building the sustainable business.
one that aligns with your values and your long-term goals.
Absolutely. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
So we've talked about the key takeaways and some potential downsides.
A balanced perspective.
Now, how can our listener use these insights to figure out which books might be most valuable for them?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is. They've got this stack of books, all offering different approaches.
I think it starts with some honest self-reflection.
Okay, looking inward.
Think about your current stage of business, your goals, your strengths, your weaknesses.
What are your biggest challenges right now?
What areas do you want to improve in?
Once you have a clear understanding of your needs.
You can start to see which books might offer the most relevant guidance.
So it's like choosing the right tool for the job.
Exactly. If you're struggling with marketing,
Maybe crushing it.
hmm,
Or .com secrets are good starting points.
right. But if it's more about finding your purpose, building a brand that resonates,
Then start with why might be more valuable
it's about matching the book to your current challenges.
and your priorities.
And don't be afraid to experiment. Read a chapter or two from a few different books.
See what resonates most.
You might be surprised by what you discover.
That's great advice. And in the final part of our deep dive,
We're going even deeper.
we'll be exploring some additional resources and tools.
That can help our listener on their online business journey.
We'll also be sharing some bonus tips and insights that didn't make it into the blog post.
It's going to be good.
Welcome back to our deep dive. We've explored some amazing books already, but in part 2, you hinted at some bonus resources, tools beyond these books.
I did. Think of these books as a great foundation, you know.
A starting point.
Exactly. But the online world, oh, it's a constantly expanding library for entrepreneurs.
I like that.
A library of resources.
It really is. And it's all out there waiting to be discovered.
Okay, you've got me hooked. What kind of resources are we talking about here?
So imagine a world of podcasts like bursting with advice you can actually use.
Actionable advice. Love that.
Right. Blogs just overflowing with insights from people who have been there, done that.
Seasoned entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Online courses, diving deep into specific skills.
You can really level up your expertise.
And then communities, like online communities.
where you can connect with other entrepreneurs.
Yeah. People walking the same path, facing similar challenges.
I love that. It's like having a built-in support system. Exactly. It's so valuable to have that network.
To bounce ideas off of, share your struggles, celebrate wins together.
You get it. It's amazing.
Okay, but with so much out there, where do you even begin?
Right. It can be overwhelming.
It can.
So if you're looking for, like, quick marketing tips,
Bite-sized wisdom.
yeah, I highly recommend the Marketing School podcast.
Okay, Marketing School. I've heard of that one.
It's hosted by Neil Patel and Eric Siu.
I know those guys. They know their stuff.
They do. And they release daily episodes.
Daily. Wow, that's a lot of content.
It is. But they keep it short and sweet.
Actionable advice you can use right away.
Exactly. And if you're craving, connection with other
A
entrepreneurs,
sense of community.
yeah, there are some fantastic online communities out there.
Like what?
Check out the Entrepreneurs on Fire forum
Entrepreneurs on Fire. Okay.
and the Indie Hackers community.
Indie hackers got it.
These communities are so supportive.
It's like having a virtual mastermind group.
Right. You can learn from each other's experiences.
Ask questions, get feedback. It's amazing.
It is. And don't forget about all the free tools and resources available online.
Free tools. Tell me more. I love free.
Oh, there are platforms for everything these days.
Like what kind of platforms?
Email marketing, like MailChimp.
MailChimp. Yep, I use that.
Project management tools, like Trello.
Trello for staying organized.
And even design platforms, like Canva.
Canva. I love Canva.
Right. It's amazing what you can do with these tools.
And so many of them offer free plans or trials.
Yeah. So you can try them out before committing.
It's all about being resourceful, finding what fits your budget and your needs.
Exactly. You don't have to break the bank to build a successful online business.
It's amazing to see how much support is out there for online entrepreneurs.
It really is.
Between these books, the podcasts, the communities, the tools.
Looks like having a whole team cheering you on.
And that brings us to our final thought for our listeners today.
Ooh, the grand finale.
It is. And I think if there's one overarching takeaway from all of this,
One big lesson.
it's that success in the online world, it's rarely about following a formula.
A one-size-fits-all approach.
There's no magic recipe for instant success.
Nope. It's about being adaptable, customer-focused, relentlessly curious.
Embracing the entrepreneurial journey as a process.
Of learning, growing, evolving.
It's about finding what works best for you.
For your business, for your unique goals.
Exactly. And never underestimate the power of connecting with
And
others.
seeking guidance, building a community.
Those are powerful tools in themselves.
They are.
Yeah.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a question to ponder.
A question to spark some reflection.
Yeah. Of all the books, insights, and resources we've explored today, what resonated most with you?
And how can you start applying that knowledge to your own journey?
That's what it's all about, taking action.
Taking those insights and turning them into results.
Exactly. And remember, the beauty of this journey is that it's uniquely yours to create.
We hope this deep dive has given you the knowledge and inspiration to navigate the exciting world of online business.
With confidence and clarity.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing.
And keep crushing it.